If you're a Gen Z or a young millennial and you're really, really frustrated right now with today's home prices and the high mortgage interest rates, this one's for you. So don't feel like, homeownership is out of reach and it is not something that you can absolutely afford. I promise you there are ways in which you can come up with some solutions. Here are 3 tips to help you. The first tip is talk to the professionals. Oftentimes, the young folks like yourself are Googling things or asking ChatGPT, but those are the generic answers that you get. You want someone to look at your personal profile, your finances, your income, your debt to income ratios, and give you a personal plan, right, on what you can and cannot afford, right? That is a first start. It is so important to get this information. You may not even know, and talk to several of them. They don't all have to pull your credit, but talk to several. Like you may talk to the bank, the guys that you bank with, your local bank or a credit union. You may talk to a lender that your realtor recommends. You may talk to a first-time home buyer specialist who has access to these loans like PHFA loans, which are given based on a certain income in a certain location for a certain home value. FHA loans that you can get for 3.5% down. If you're a veteran or your parent or a grandparent was a veteran, you can get something for no down payment. So there are options out there, and the idea is to explore out, what is out there and see if it fits. And here's a pro tip, guys. Even if you don't qualify for anything right now, even if you can't buy today, these professionals can give you a plan. They can give you a plan to fix your credit. They can give you a plan to reduce your debt. They give you a plan to, save in a certain manner so that you're able to afford something 6 months, 12 months, 18 months from now. So definitely talk to some professionals and, get some good brain power on your side to help you through this process. My second thing is resetting your expectations. Now this sucks, I know. We all have dreams, right? We want that dream kitchen, that yard, that trendy zip code, right? But your first home is a stepping stone. It's not a finish line, right? So think of it as a start. The one clear goal that you have right now is to stop paying rent. Right? You don't want to pay rent because you're building the landlord's equity and paying his mortgage instead of paying your own. You want yourself to be on the path to financial freedom and success, and not, your landlord. He's done, he can take care of himself, or she. So start building equity and stop paying rent is your goal. So a small starter home, can grow into your next home. You keep paying your monthly payments, which might be the same as your rent right now, but at least a little bit of it is going towards equity. And over time, the home may appreciate in value, and now you've got a nice little nest egg for your next home, which can make a good down payment for your next home. So definitely think of it as a journey. This may not be your ideal home. Yes, it may not have the kitchens and baths you had envisioned. It may not have the square footage you were hoping for. It is not the right location, but it's a start. It will do, and it'll lead you to that dream home. The third tip is pool resources, right? You cannot do this alone. You are not able to do, you don't have the income, or you don't qualify, but maybe with a sibling, or maybe with a best friend, or maybe with a significant other. Once you pool your resources, you may qualify. Now, this requires an element of trust. I get it. You don't want to do it with just anybody, but even pooling resources with a parent, parents may have significant equity in their current homes, and they might be willing to pull some of it out and share it with you as a gift or as a loan, right? So pool resources with someone and see if you can, achieve this path towards home ownership. It's not ideal. Again, you want to make sure that all the legal agreements are in place. You're dotting your I's, you're crossing your T's, and you're sharing the responsibility proportionately. But if done right, it can, make this pathway happen for you. Right? So bottom line, homeownership is still possible. It may take some creativity. It is some juggling, some compromise, some planning, but don't write it off yet. You've got options. If all of this didn't make sense, if you're a Gen Z and a millennial and you're like, yeah, Bela, this doesn't make sense, what about X, Y, or Z? Please share in the comments below. I'd like to know about your frustrations. I want to provide solutions. Realtors love first-time homeowners, home buyers, and we want to make this work for you. And so if we can work together, I'm happy to answer questions, connect you with people who can help, and make your dreams come true.